This podcast contains potentially adult language, adult themes, definitely drinking, and possibly sexual context. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay, this is the literary briefs edition of Drinking with Authors. I don't know why I can never remember the title of this as I'm going. Recording, stop. Okay, I'm your host, Erica. I love recording this after we've been drinking. I'm your host, Erica Lance. My co-host today is
Jan Piquet.
And our amazing and inebriated guest is Donna Mercer. Woo! Let's talk a little bit about what we've been drinking because we're still drinking it. So I got a Venti London Fog latte, and then I put honey jack in it, and it's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, it's like a weird hot toddy. Jen, what boring drink are you drinking? Because nobody cares.
I still have my iced caramel macchiato. It's good.
You drank like 4 sips of it.
I need to stir it. I didn't stir it, and it's separated.
Okay, so you don't really have a drink. Donna, what are you drinking? Yours is way more fascinating.
I'm still drinking the pink lemonade vodka. Look in this stylish bottle.
It's a gorgeous bottle.
And it's the stuff inside is just as gorgeous.
Seems like it. I'm going to have to try that. For those of you listening, going to bring me alcohol. Pink lemonade by Smirnoff. And I know you put a little bit of Sprite in it to pretend like you made a mixed drink, whatever. It's kind of like a Long Island iced tea has Coke in it.
Yeah.
Not a thing. Okay. This is Literary Briefs rapid fire questions. The first question. Shut up. I've got this. I can see you. Okay. So the first question is, what is your favorite book of all time?
Cinderella and the Wolf Shifter Prince by Siren Allen.
Wow. Okay, why?
Oh, because it is a different take on Cinderella, and it's like, it's not a pansy, oh, save me type of book. It's like, bitch, come and get me. So, and it's paranormal, and it's just fascinating because it's like when I read it, I just fell in love with it. It's
awesome. What about your least favorite book of all time?
My least favorite?
Yes, your least favorite book of all time.
Oh, no. Oh. Okay, I'm stumped. I don't know. I tend to like all books.
I don't think that's accurate.
I can tell you my least favorite genre. Okay. I hate books with boring, wimpy ass heroines who feel that they have to be rescued by a man. Come on, put your big girl panties on and save yourself. Matter of fact, go get him. It's like, if he can't come to you, you go get him. Wait, scratch that. If you have to go get him, he ain't worth having.
Okay. I like it. Okay. We talked last podcast about having to have a happy ending. Do you check to see if there's a happy ending? Because somebody in this podcast right now does that. She won't read a book. She'll look at the end of the book to make sure that it shows that there's a happy ending. Do you do that?
No, I read it all the way through, and then when I get to the ending, if it's not a happy ending, I get pissed off and throw the book. Now,
okay,
that's not if it's on a Kindle.
Yeah, but that's terrible for Kindles. They're not that, they can be damaged doing that. Do you finish a book always?
No. Some books, you just start reading and it's just something about it. It's like, I'm like, this is shit. No.
Do you leave reviews?
I try to, but I always try to leave something positive. Even if I don't like a book and I can't make it all the way through, I tell someone like, this book had a fabulous beginning.
Do you ever email the authors yourselves and go, hey, fun story?
Yes. Okay, so remember that dang series, that Suki Stackhouse series?
Yep, Charlene Harris. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So I had read one of her books, and I'm like, what is up with all these stereotypes? And I had emailed her. I'm like, what the fuck? And so it's like she had to explain her process to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I get it. Okay, yes, okay. Now I like your book a lot more. Before I just wanted to use it to start a fire.
Yeah, I am not a big fan of those books myself because one of the characters completely changes in book 1 to book 3, like nationality and everything, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? So
I just finished her Russian Cage, I think it's called. They were good. I really liked them.
I do not take your advice on books. You read books completely differently than me. The same is true with movies. I love you, but no.
It was a badass heroine who had to go rescue the guy who.
See? Okay. All right. I can read that book. What's it called?
It's Russian Cage. There are 3 of them, and it's done, so you don't have to worry about cliffhangers because you just boom, boom, boom.
Okay, cool. See?
Whatever.
It was good. It was like a weird alternate future with westerns, gunslingers, and then Russians. I was in.
Oh, well, see? Who don't love a Russian?
Right? And he was like a sexy magic wielding Russian.
I have to say, so I watched Blast from the Past last where they thought that, the Great War happened and everything. That was very funny. It's even funnier now, but okay. So what is your favorite book to TV or movie?
My favorite book to TV or movie. Actually, I like the Hunger Games.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's my favorite one. I think they did a good job with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, least favorite.
The Help. God, I hate that book. Because first of all, the book was okay, but it's like as a Black person who knows their history, yeah, you guys whitewashed it. And then when Disney got a hold of it and put it, and the ending was totally different, I'm like, what the hell? I want my money back. I want my money back for the book and the movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize that depending on how the book gets purchased and opted, they get to do whatever the fuck they want to with it. It literally, because what was it? The Arrival? The Arrival. No, not The Arrival. What is the one with Natalie Portman where she goes into the shimmery?
Oh, the alien post.
You're not even fucking drinking and you're useless right now.
Wasn't it? It was part of the Alien series, but it was like it started with a Prometheus?
No, not that one. I'm talking about the one where she goes in and it's searching for her military husband he came out, but he like almost died and goes in and anyway, I forget what it's not The Expanse? No, anyway. It is not Prometheus. Don't get me started about that. Don't get me started about Prometheus. But no, the whole thing about the book is this whole going into this, it's an aliens book, right? Kind of like not the movie Aliens, but it's about an alien. And they changed the entire fucking book. They changed the whole thing from what it was in the movie. And so a friend of mine who actually read this book, I did not, was so mad in the movie theater. She's like, what the hell is this? She's like, just put the name on it and it's none of the story.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, it says every single Disney cartoon movie ever is the name, but not the story.
Yes. Disney is famous for that. They just ruin everything.
So what are you watching right now?
What am I watching?
Yeah, like series. Like, what are you into?
My daughter and I, we are watching Rescue 911 because we don't like to watch movie shows when they first come out. We gotta wait for it to hit Hulu or something to be syndicated before we watch them. And so we're working our way through it, and everybody keeps rushing us because they're like, hurry up, the new season's out. I don't care. I don't want to watch the new season when it's the new season. I want to watch the new season when it's old.
I started watching Sweet Tooth on Netflix, and it's pretty brilliant, actually. Yeah.
I'm still watching Lucifer.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this season of Lucifer.
I'm enjoying it so far.
I hate it.
2 episodes.
He's made it into they made it really stupid and campy. Like it had some anyway.
Did you ever read the book? Speaking of.
No.
The comic books are. Come on, the whole idea is campy.
I mean, it's campy. It's work. Just wait. You'll see what I'm talking about. I'm almost done with it. When you get done with it, then yeah. Anyway.
I'm with you. I like to watch shows years after so that I know they're all there and I don't have to wait.
Yeah, see, and it's like, and then I hate people who are like, oh my God, did you see this episode? No. Don't ruin it for me. I will get there when I get there.
Yeah.
Lobos.
Okay. So what is your writing Achilles heel? Like, what do you find your editors like, hey, you've got to stop?
Using the word that. She's like, you did not have to put the word that in front of everything. Yes, I do. That is how I write. And you have to like that because that is what I do.
That is awesome. What about as a reader? What is when you, because I think one of the things about being a writer, especially when you write a lot, you see stuff, even if you don't want to when you're reading,
Mhm.
that I think it's easier as a writer to get thrown out of a story by something writers do. So what is the thing that like, I know wussy heroines, but what writing wise is the thing that will throw somebody out of a story?
Oh my God. It's like when you're following along and the story is going great, and then all of a sudden they throw in some character doing some random thing that has nothing to do with the story, and I have to wonder, why are you here?
The
It's like,
barista effect.
yeah. I'm like, and then I spend the rest of the story wondering, what were they supposed to do?
What about your? So let's talk about your fans. Do you go to conferences?
Um, Not often because the whole work schedule, and I is like it makes it hard. I I go to IRAE. That's usually when I go to most of the time.
Have you met a lot of your fans?
Um, yeah, and no. Yeah, no, because it's like I speak to them like online and they email me and we Facebook and we talk that way, but as an actual person, no. But I actually found out actually one of my fans live around the block from me, and I'm like, oh, you're a little too close if you're a stalker crazy.
Yeah, no, you don't want to tell them where you actually live. I just wondered. So on the IRAE, have you? What happens when they come up to you? What was it like having your first fan experience?
Oh, I was excited they knew who the hell I was. Because I'm like, oh, you read my book? Yay! Here, can I give you something?
I think a lot of people, because we're celebrities as authors, right? But I
Mhm.
don't think a lot of people realize it's very different than celebrities in other genres of things because we want to talk to our fans. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think. We
Yeah.
love hearing that you loved our book. We love it if you dress up like characters from our book. That will make people's day if you dress up like the characters from the book, right?
Uh-huh.
So I always think it's interesting when people are standoffish to go talk to an author because I'm not saying there aren't dickheads out there. I'm quite sure there are because there are dickheads everywhere. But most authors are completely happy to meet you,
Yes.
and talk to you and nerd out with you. And even if they've written, a zillion best-selling novels, they still want to hear from you unless you ask them about some obscure character like, I don't know, or a character in their book that they don't want to talk about Drizzt anymore. Jen, maybe that.
Or why you put this character in a green shirt instead of a blue one? I don't know, because everything was green that day.
Have you ever been asked a really strange question by a fan that you were like, what? Because I found that, I think we forget this is we write these books and we see a lot of between our reading and our writing. I think very few authors are great at remembering every details of their book. So then a fan comes up and goes, oh my God, I loved Luke so much, blah, blah. And you were like,
Who?
yeah,
Tell me what you like about it.
yeah, exactly. And you have to totally cover like, I'm so glad. What was your favorite part? Who the fuck are they talking about? Like,
Yeah. I had one ask me about Jericho, and Jericho, and he's like, well, didn't Jericho get stabbed in the butt when he was having sex on his desk? I'm like, okay, what would he get stabbed by? But that's a little weird question to ask. And so I'm like, no, remember he cleared the desk off. He swept everything off the desk. So it was safe. It was safe for him to have sex on his own desk.
that is a weird question. That is definitely somebody you should not let know what state you live in.
Do you have a place where you keep track of all the things? Because if you're writing a series, or do you have to go back and reread earlier books to keep it up?
It depends on how long it is in between the series. It's like sometimes I have to go back and I'm like, okay, what was his favorite thing? And it's like, but luckily, like I said, I try to keep it together. And if worse comes to worse, I will word search the manuscript to find what I am looking for. Been there, done that. Yeah.
Does your editor do a good job of going, hey, so this character you're bringing back up again, this wasn't the character in the last book?
Yes, she does that. Yeah, she's like, and then she goes even further, and it's like, even if it was the character in the last book, this is not the language they spoke. They spoke this one. I'm like, listen here, kindergartner. It's like,
they won't speak Spanish. They will speak Russian. Whatever. You and your logic, using that against me.
I know, that's it. Stop using your damn logic.
Okay, Jen, what's your question? Do you see how many I just asked in a row?
You got this.
Shut up.
What do you prefer to read on? Like Kindle, or do you like books, paperbacks, hardcovers?
I like books, but my husband threatened me. He says he is not building me another bookshelf, so therefore I had to invest in a Kindle. And it's like, as I look at the number of books I have on the Kindle, I see why he threatened me, because he's like, listen, the garage is mine, but it's being taken over by your books. And the only thing I'm going to do is, if we run out of electricity and it's cold, I'm going to use your books to start a fire. And I'm like, no, you can't use my books. He's like, we will not freeze to death. It's like, you might not, but you're not burning my books, man.
You know what's interesting? So I got to ask both of you this. As somebody who purged a lot of her books, so I gave books away and donated them to libraries and stuff, besides books that are signed by authors that I've met or have been given as gifts. Like I have a couple, books that I've been given from authors I really like that friends bought. Of course, they're ones I buy at conventions, that sort of thing. But if I buy a book at Barnes and Noble on their discount rack, because I do that a lot with the hardcovers, I then read it and then I give it away. There's very few books that I will necessarily pick up again. Like I have those books that I will do that, but if I don't think I'm going to pick it up again, I'm like, somebody else will enjoy this book, I'm going to give it away. I see Jen there very uncomfortable as I'm saying this, but I'm just curious, because if they're like, for instance, if they're in the garage, I know they're your books and you read them and they're your preciouses, but if you're not going to read them again, or they're in the garage, why not give them away?
Because in the middle of the night, I will go out to the garage with a flashlight and find me a book to read. And then I will bring it into the house and I will dust it off and I will love it and I will read it. And then I will take it back out to the garage.
So do you reread all the books on your shelf, or you just have them there?
Me, I read a lot. I took over our front room, and now it's
That's an understatement.
There's room for more bookshelves in there. We have them in the middle of the room now. And my husband's very...
It looks like a bookstore. It looks like a bookstore or a library. It's not just like I have some bookshelves.
Fine.
Like you walk in and there's books.
And I do give books away to students. We have a free to a good home box when I'm at school. So.
And how many of those have you given away?
Well, in the last year, none, because I haven't been on campus. But normally I give books away they're out of control right now. It's a little crazy. But I know what you mean. I do. I go back and read them. Not all of them, but...
Okay, when you get done with the book that you're not going to read again because it didn't spark that much joy.
Depending on what it is, a lot of the time now, if there's no room, or if it's an A or B, because A's and B's are really high, and I'm not climbing on a chair to put it, because they're alphabetical by author's last name. I'm not climbing. So A's and B's, especially, unless it's like Terry Brooks or something, I will bring it to school, and then I put it in the free to a good home box, and the students will take them. So yeah, A, B, C occasionally. C now I have to really reach to get it. So
Okay, guys, you're hearing it. If Jan Paquette comes by your booth and goes to grab one of your books and your last name is A, B, or C, it better be fucking good. Otherwise, it's going in a box.
Good thing mine starts with an M.
There you go.
You're right in the middle.
That's so much craziness to me. What about signing your books? Do you do a lot of signings of your books? Do you do a lot of giveaways?
Yeah, I like to do a monthly giveaway in my group, and it's like usually I give away a signed copy of the book. Or okay, so I'm also a closet hoarder of designer purses, and so I tend to give them away to people in my group, and there's a book, signed book stuffed inside. So yeah.
No, that's smart because that's something I made my boyfriend start watching the Hoarder Show. We were visiting with his relatives and there were kids in the house. And I was trying to find a series that could be around children. And I was like, there's not cussing in this. This is on like A&E. It's fine. So we put on Hoarders. And he's like, we were watching it the other day and he's like, I can't get the logic of these people. Like, I can't understand it at all.
Like,
So the fact that you give it it's one thing to like things. There's definitely a borderline when you have so much stuff you can't even live in your house anymore.
Mhm.
You know, but there's collecting, and then there's how many designer purses do you have?
At the moment I have about 30. But it's like it's an inherited problem. I inherited from my mother and my aunt. They're the same people that got me started on reading. So not only did I inherit my mother's books, I inherited her purses too. And then my niece has already came through and stamped her logo on the ones she wants when I die. And I'm like, dude, I'm only 51. She's like, you'll die sooner or later. I'm like, oh, love you too.
Do you use the purses though occasionally? Do you like dust them out and use them?
Yeah, I change my purse every day, but like I said, I also give them away.
Every day? Did you just say every day?
Yes.
Oh, that's a lot. That's so much.
Joy in my life, and changing my purse is the joy.
Do you
But like, I
coordinate it with what you're wearing?
huh?
Do you coordinate it with what you've got on?
Yeah. Or if I'm in a happy mood, I want my favorite purse to come with me. Because I know in a
not have a lot in your purse, because like when I go to change my purse, it's like an entire thing to change my purse.
Oh no. It's like, okay, first of all, my purse, if I'm going to work, it has to fit my computer. And then it's like my pens are in a little zip bag, and then like the lip gloss and all that other stuff in a zip bag. So it's just a matter of taking these bags out and sticking them in this purse, hanging that one up on the shelf. Yeah.
Do you carry a book around to read, or do you carry your Kindle around? Is it with you always?
I carry my phone, which has the Kindle app and the Google Play app and Kobo and Barnes and Noble apps, because I read on all of them.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I actually like to read on Google Play, on Google Books the most. But, and it's only lately that I can find the authors that are on Amazon moving over to Google, and I can purchase them there, because I would rather support them on Google than on Amazon. And then Kobo's now becoming my big thing, because they have, how Amazon has Kindle Unlimited. Well, Kobo has their version of the Kindle Unlimited, but unlike Amazon, you don't have to have your book exclusive to their Kindle Unlimited. So if you have it in, I don't even remember what it was called, but their Kobo Unlimited, you can still sell it on Amazon and iBooks and Barnes and Noble and stuff, and make extra money. So that's one of the things I like about being wide.
No, I think it's important. I think it's important for books to go wide, and I really do not encourage people to do Kindle Unlimited, because especially now the pay from it. I mean, some people do really, really well, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people, they're so limited, they're not broadening the audience. And I think more and more people are looking at Amazon and going, you don't get all the money. I mean, that's what's happening with a lot of the big publishers too, is they're going to Amazon and like, you can't price, we had books we posted on there and the cover price was $16.99 and they jacked it up to $24.99.
Mm-hmm. And what people don't seem to realize is that Amazon's only big in the US. It's like
That's true.
the world use something else. And it's like a lot of my readers actually are like in Canada or Australia. And then I have a big following in Spain because I've had people ask, are you ever going to translate your book into Spanish? And I'm like, not until I figure out these translation laws, because there's different in every country. But it's like, I just try to keep it open because, like I said, Amazon, the government's going to come after Amazon because they're just too big. And
Agreed. And it would be dumb if all of your eggs are in that particular basket. I agree 100%. Okay, Jen, you get the final question.
What are you reading right now?
I just finished rereading Allegiance of Honor by Nalina Singh because I needed something paranormal to read, and I just love her. It's like I love her whole series, and I'm waiting for the next one to come out. And then I finished that one last night, and then I started a new book by Cynthia Sachs. It was one of her cyborg series book. I can't remember the name. Maybe it's the latest one she just wrote. So
you read more than one book at a time? Jen didn't ask that. She normally does. Can you read more than one book at a time? I mean, I know you physically can, but do you? I get confused into storylines. I will admit that wholeheartedly. I will read, but especially if they're very similar books, what is even happening? I don't even remember what story we're in anymore. So
I tend to read like one book for pleasure and one book for business, so I can learn something new about the writing business. So that's how I go. So
well, you won't get them confused if you do that. If you read two paranormal shifter romances, trust me, somewhere in the middle it starts getting hazy and you're like, didn't he die? Wait, what book is this? Especially if they have characters with similar names. It's like watching Vikings and The Last Kingdom. I'm screwed. I watched both of them, and then the latest season came out, and I was sitting there with my boyfriend, and I'm like, I can't even pretend to try to get the history of this show because I don't remember which show had what in it, because they're both the Ragnar stories, and I'm like, oh, what's happening right now?
See?
I don't understand what's happening. Okay, well, we have to wrap up. So tell again, everybody, how to find you and your books.
Okay, I am actually all over the place. You can find me on Amazon and Kobo and Barnes & Noble and iBooks and Smashwords and all those lovely little places under Donna or Mercer. And you can hook me up on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
What is your Facebook group again?
Risque Raiders.
Risque Raiders, okay.
Yes, we look up. Honestly, all we do is post pictures of half naked men, then critique them.
That is actually should be somebody's job. I do that job. I do that as a living. What do you do? I rank half naked men. Thank you. That's what I do for a living. I came up with a really good title that made it sound like it was an executive type position because that's how I roll.
That's it. It's all in the wording.
Exactly. You have been fantastically wonderful, my friend. It was so awesome to meet you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. I had fun.
Absolutely. Okay, so this has been Drinking with Authors, Literary Briefs. I've been your host, Erica Lance. And we'll see you next time.
All right.